This story will amaze you. It's one of the most incredible tales of human endurance and survival ever told. It has fascinated people for years and shows the strength of the human spirit. In 1972, a plane crash left a group of rugby players stranded in the Andes. These young men, full of life, suddenly had to fight for survival against nature's harshest conditions. What happened next is almost unbelievable. Over the next 72 days, they faced challenges that tested their physical and mental strength. In 1972, a Uruguayan rugby team and their friends and family boarded a flight to Chile. They were excited about the trip, but their journey took a tragic turn. What was supposed to be a routine trip turned into a nightmare. The flight encountered severe weather, and the pilots struggled to navigate through the mountains. The plane, carrying 45 passengers, crashed into the Andes Mountains due to bad weather and navigational errors. The impact was devastating, and the survivors were in shock. Stranded in one of the most remote places on Earth, their ordeal was just beginning. The Andes, with its high peaks and freezing temperatures, was a tough challenge. With little food and no way to communicate, the survivors faced extreme cold, avalanches, and injuries. The first days were a struggle as they tried to understand their situation and hoped for rescue. They rationed their small amount of food, but it quickly ran out. They realized they had to rely on their resourcefulness and determination to stay alive. Desperation led them to make tough decisions to survive. Faced with starvation, they made the difficult choice to do whatever it took to stay alive. After 72 days, two survivors, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, decided to cross the mountains to find help. They knew staying put meant certain death. They trekked for 10 days through dangerous terrain, battling exhaustion and the elements. Each step was a test of their willpower, driven by the hope of finding rescue. Their determination paid off when they met a Chilean shepherd who alerted authorities. This moment marked a turning point, as the outside world finally knew of their plight. A rescue mission was launched and 16 survivors were finally brought to safety. The sight of helicopters and rescuers brought immense relief and emotion. Their story became a testament to human resilience and the will to survive. The survivors' reunion with their families was a moment of profound joy and relief. The miracle of the Andes remains one of the most incredible survival stories in history. It has inspired numerous books, documentaries, and films. It highlights the strength of the human spirit and the power of hope in the face of unimaginable adversity. The story of the Andes survivors continues to inspire people around the world. The crash site became a haunting symbol of the tragedy. The twisted metal and scattered debris were a stark reminder of the violent impact and the lives lost. Using parts of the wreckage, the survivors built makeshift shelters to protect themselves from the harsh elements. These shelters became their lifeline in the freezing temperatures. Medical supplies were scarce, and the survivors had to improvise to treat their injuries. The lack of proper medical care made every injury potentially life-threatening. Despite the dire circumstances, the survivors found ways to keep their spirits up. They huddled together for warmth, shared stories, and supported each other emotionally. To keep track of time, the survivors created a makeshift calendar marking each passing day. This simple act helped them maintain a sense of normalcy and hope. Meanwhile, search and rescue teams scoured the mountains, and families anxiously awaited news. The harsh weather and difficult terrain made the search efforts incredibly challenging. One of the most terrifying moments for the survivors was when an avalanche struck their camp. The snow buried their shelters and took the lives of several survivors. Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa's decision to trek for help was a turning point. They prepared as best they could, gathering what little food and supplies they had. The trek was grueling. Nando and Roberto faced freezing temperatures, blinding snow, and treacherous terrain. They pushed through exhaustion and pain, driven by the hope of finding help. When they finally encountered the Chilean shepherd, it was a moment of profound relief. The shepherd quickly alerted authorities. The rescue operation was swift. Helicopters arrived to airlift the survivors, who were weak but overjoyed to be saved. The emotional reunions with their families were heart-wrenching. Tears of joy and relief flowed as the survivors embraced their loved ones. The media coverage of the rescue brought the story to the world. Interviews with the survivors revealed the depth of their ordeal and the incredible strength they had shown. Years later, some of the survivors returned to the crash site to pay tribute to those who had perished. It was a somber and emotional journey. The survivors' reflections on their experience are filled with wisdom and inspiration. They speak of the strength of the human spirit, the importance of hope, and the power of unity. The miracle of the Andes is more than just a survival story. It's a testament to the enduring power of hope, the strength of the human spirit, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship and family. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most incredible survival stories in history. The miracle of the Andes will forever be a powerful reminder of what it means to be human.